Welcome to the Cover Your Assets podcast, a show for the physician who understands the importance of protecting everything you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to find the peace of mind that only financial security can bring, let's get started. Here's your host, Billy Gwaltney.
Hi there. Welcome to today's episode of the Cover Your Assets podcast. I'm Billy Gwaltney, your host. Really excited to be with you today. Today's topic is a good one. I'm going to go into more detail regarding the statement that disability insurance claims are not the same as health insurance claims. I am a disability insurance broker specializing in own occupation specialty coverage for physicians across the country. And insurance is a quirky topic and a not so good topic for many people, especially physicians who deal with insurance paperwork and hassles and back and forth about getting paid versus what was submitted and what was billed and so forth. And the question, I think a very natural question that a lot of physician clients have is, hey, with this disability coverage, is it ever really going to pay a claim? Are they going to nickel and dime me? Are they going to push back? They're clearly in it for themselves. And why would they ever pay me a claim if I can't do my specialty? And I think that's a really good question and a valid thought process to have based on our clients, physicians' experience. I am an independent broker, which means no specific insurance carrier pays my overhead or rent. There are only, a typical broker has access to 50 to 75 insurance carriers, okay? But there are only 4 insurance companies that are good, and I mean really good, at this private specialty own occupation disability coverage. And as of today, those carriers are Guardian, MassMutual, Principal, and Emeritus. Okay. And I'm an independent broker, have clients with all of them. And working with thousands of physicians across the country, we do have clients on claim. We've had clients, I can't recall any off the top of my head that are catastrophic disabilities where someone is paralyzed or in a vegetative state kind of thing, although those can obviously happen. The vast majority of claims are illnesses. They hurt their back. Maybe we've had clients have mini strokes and lose vision in one eye and things like that. And every one of our clients that's gone through the claim process has been approved. None of them, at least as of now, have had to lawyer up or go through some kind of arbitration, some kind of dispute settlement situation to get their benefit. They completed the claim paperwork. The insurance carriers claim people spoke with them, spoke to the employer, talked to their physician, and it was determined that they couldn't do their specialty due to that illness or injury. And so they started getting paid. Some have been able to, decided to go do other things, telemedicine or teach or something or consult, make money doing that. And they continue to collect their full disability benefit. And so I share that because this is almost like an alternate universe kind of situation where when I say that this insurance pays, it's because the contracts are written in such a way that if an illness or injury that's verified by your physician, the specialist overseeing your care, and your physician that's overseeing your care confirms that you cannot do your specialty, the material and substantial duties of your specialty, then they have to pay you. And there's just not a lot of wiggle room for them. There are no, again, if it's done correctly, there are no out clauses. There are no see paragraph 3 on page 86 at the in the appendix that gives them an out. Now, here's what's important to understand. I'm only talking about these 4 carriers with these 4 contracts and these definitions. Anything outside of this small universe, all bets are off. And it will be nickel and dime, and it will be lawyer up, and it will be much like any other health insurance claim where they're going to say you didn't deserve this, we don't believe you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. group long-term disability policies through an employer. It does not matter who your employer is. They're going to fight you tooth and nail. They're going to assume that you're trying to rig the system. They're also going to say, hey, as a physician, you're trained to do a lot of things. So even if your employer's policy calls it, quote, own occupation or, quote, specialty specific, how they define that is more broad than this private specialty coverage. And so our clients on claim, they all get paid from their private insurance. Quite frequently, they never get a nickel from their employer policy. It's not their employer's fault. It's just the nature of the disability world where employer policies have to cover everybody that works there regardless of their health. That's called adverse selection. It can bankrupt insurance carriers. They will move heaven and earth to avoid that. And the way they avoid that is by watering down the definitions and putting the gotcha clauses in the policy. They do not put those gotcha clauses in these 4 contracts that we work with our clients. And so this claim process is surprisingly simple and straightforward. I mean, it has to be a legitimate claim. Okay, they don't pay fraudulent claims. But if it's a legitimate claim, if an illness or injury is preventing you from doing your specialty, then they know going into that claim that they're probably going to have to pay it. And so there's even the kind of the fundamental belief at the beginning is they're giving you the benefit of the doubt that it's probably a legitimate claim compared to any other insurance, especially an employer's policy where they're not giving you the benefit of the doubt. So that I'm passionate about this because it is vital to get it right. It's easy to get it wrong. Again, only 4 carriers. You can have the right carrier and still not have the right definitions. So the first thing is to make sure you have the right company. The second thing is to make sure it has the definitions that you think it has. And that's verifiable in writing, but that's really where the broker comes in. You want to work with a specialist that you trust, that's verified, that does it with thousands of physicians across the country, that's been doing it for quite a while, that's independent, and that lets you pick the best one among this small universe, but pick the best one that fits your situation. And if you do it right, then if an illness or injury prevents you from doing your specialty, you'll get paid. And it'll be as simple as that. I hope you found this helpful. I would be happy to discuss further your particular situation in more detail. Thank you for listening. My number, if you want to text to schedule a time, 704-270-2376. Again, 704-270-2376. Thank you as always. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Cover Your Assets podcast, an Odd Conduit media production. New episodes drop every 2 weeks. If you've enjoyed the conversation, subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. For more tips and advice, visit the website and YouTube channel. Check the show notes for links. Join us next time for another episode dedicated to helping physicians like you get your disability insurance right and protect your way of life.